Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Okay, can we have, oh, there you are. Hello, Boris. Hello, everybody. So really excited to have all of you with us today. This is an amazing opportunity for SE Ranking to actually present our newest additions to the AI Search Toolkits. And before we actually head into that, a few quick housekeeping notes. First things first, as you might have noticed, I'm looking into different screens here. I hope those of you who also work from home understand the struggle. So I'm still looking at you. I'm still monitoring the presentation and the chat today, but I might just be looking into a different direction. Secondly, it's important for me to understand that everybody can see and hear me well enough, and that you can see the presentation and our presenters in this, and our guests in the screen today. So if you could just leave a couple of comments in the chat box, mainly mention where you come from, what's the purpose of your visit to our amazing session today, so that we can make sure that everything is working technically, it'd be just amazing. So let me just give you a moment for a couple of comments to appear. And I do see, yes, so hi from London. Hi, Simon from Poland. Amazing. We have people tuning in. This is great. It's just great to see how global these events have become recently, because when we host our sessions, we expect to see people from all around the world, but sometimes the presence is actually very drastic, which is greatly, greatly amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for leaving all of the comments. So many places, the United States, Canada, Edinburgh, amazing. Okay, thank you. I think we've passed the sound and video check. So I think it's important to address the elephant in the room and finally say, why are we all here today? So as you might have guessed from the title, today we'll be talking about AI visibility end to end. That implies researching your competitors and tracking AI rankings with SE Ranking. Now, a lot of agencies and small and medium businesses might have noticed the sudden shift. I mean, let's be honest, everybody's noticed that, especially since late February, when Google has started pushing updates. So your clients or your management might actually be asking you the constant and repetitive questions of, hey, why aren't we appearing in the AI overviews? Or why is the competitor appearing in ChatGPT replies, but we aren't? And other questions that, frankly speaking, very few people actually have very precise answers to at the moment. So the point of this session today is exactly about that. We have prepared some very practical workflows to see how you can answer those questions for yourselves and, of course, for your clients. And I think I've missed on a big part of the event today. I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry, this is my first day on the job as both the host and the presenter. So give me some credit. Thank you, guys. Again, my name is Maxim. I'm a customer success manager here at SE Ranking. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years, so I've had my great share of conversations with my clients and the accounts that I'm responsible for about the AI shift and the changes that we're all experiencing. But I will not be the only person talking today. As you might have noticed, we have two amazing guests with us today. We have Maria Starikova, who is a product manager at SE Ranking. She drives product initiative and competitive and keyword research, as well as some backlinks and reporting tools improvements throughout the platform. Hi, Maria. How are you doing?
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I see a lot of people have already joined and be with us. So it's great. It's a nice company. Yeah, so I hope this session will be helpful for you, and I hope there will be some insights, and maybe there will be some feedback that you want to share with us. Me and my team recently we released a new version of AI research, so I will be happy. I will be glad to hear your thoughts on this, if any. If not, then we'll be glad to let you know more about this tool, and maybe there will be questions on this. So enjoy the session and talk to you soon.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Maria, for joining us, for taking the time. And another guest that we have today is also a very special part of our product team. This is Boris. He is a manager of a couple of amazing AI tools, and he oversees the development and the improvement of those tools for you guys and for us specifically, because we love our product as well. Hello, Boris. What about you? What kind of expectations or feedback do you hope to receive from our audience today?
Yeah, hi Max, thanks for the intro. Well, actually, I hope I can be useful in this discussion today, especially if you have some questions that are more technical than usual. As for feedback, yeah, we're here to, among other things, we're here to gather feedback, to gather your ideas, your requests regarding AI search related functionality. So please feel free to post them in the comments in the stream's chat.
Awesome. Thank you, Boris, for taking the time to be with us today. And I think it's important to mention that since one of the major goals, like why we're here today, is first things first is, of course, to provide you with the visibility of the things that we have built, that we have heard from you, that are on demand, and show you the features that can actually simplify the way you work with AI and LLM responses. But another thing is, of course, to hear from you guys and better understand the pain points that you are going through right now. So you might have noticed that in the chat box below, you have a little survey that I would really recommend you partake in. It's really interesting and fun to see that, hey, we're all experiencing issues with like the shift the shift from the organic traffic to the AI traffic. So we're just wondering, what's your biggest AI search pain point right now? If you could just click a few buttons there and partake in the voting, it would be amazing. Because again, this session is not so much about us providing the expertise, which we definitely have, but sharing the knowledge and sharing the practical advice and showing that, hey, we're all going through this big shift together, and we're all in this boat together. So I already see some answers, which is amazing. I see that the top answer is providing AI visibility value to clients and stakeholders. Of course, stakeholders and clients are always should always be the North Star of everything we do. Turning AI insights into a clear content SEO action plan. Yes, there is so much ambiguity with content creation. Like, what is good content? What AI considers good content? And even if it considers a kind of content assessment system that it uses, to use your website as a reference, to mention your brand, etc. Awesome. So thank you for taking part in this vote. We're all in this boat together, and I think it's time for us to move forward to the event itself. I know that you must have already heard a lot about SEO ranking, but just a few quick words about the product, about the team, and like, what exactly is that we do at SEO ranking? So as you already know, SEO ranking is not just a tool. SEO ranking is more of an environment. And what we're doing is we're trying to build this all-encompassing SEO and AI visibility platform that helps you connect the dots between different SEO aspects. Now, we offer a myriad of tools. That includes tools for competitive research, backlink research, reports, technical checks, etc. Apart from that, we pride ourselves in the quality of our data, and we constantly seek to improve the data quality that we provide, increase our database, both for the backlinks and the keywords, and basically any metrics that you guys rely on a day-to-day basis. And finally, we understand how important collaboration is, because you cannot tend to a client on your own. You have a team, you have SMM people, you have content marketing people, and everybody else who needs to work in tandem in order to deliver actionable results. So we offer a variety of tools for collaboration, for creating reports, for sharing live and dynamic data with your clients directly from SEO ranking. Okay, so this is just a quick run through of what SEO ranking is in general. Again, we have a very specific agenda today, But before we do that, it's important to mention that as we're building that kind of environment, we're trying to encompass different areas of SEO. And more specifically, we are trying to trying to create a suite of tools that will provide you the visibility that you need, not only into the SEO data, but also into AI data, into SMM content creation, and of course, the data that we pull ourselves from our database that you can use for creating your unique reports. And now let's get to the agenda itself. So a short outline of what we're going to be talking about today. As I mentioned before, this is my first day on the job as both as the host and the presenter. So I'm going to be both giving you the presentation of the core features that we have in mind for you today, guys, and just communicating with our guests to make sure that they can provide you with the expertise that they already have. Now, the core things we're going to be talking about today would be starting to create a project. I know, it's really basic, but it isn't, because it's a cornerstone for managing LLM search engines, or rather AI search engines, as we prefer to call them here at SRanking, and seeing how you can actually keep track of the prompts, AO keywords, and your AI visibility in general. We'll also be looking into competitive research, which some of you who have been with SRanking for some time already know for its amazing insights into the organic traffic and keywords, into the page traffic. But with its new addition of the AI search, you have a lot more new capabilities that you didn't even existed or you didn't even know you needed. Then we will be looking at AI results tracking, which basically means that after we've finished the research phase in terms of the prompts, visibility, now we're going to be talking about putting those things together and putting up a project that you can manage and keep track of those prompts, AO keywords, etc. Finally, we're going to give you a quick sneak peek into our newest product that we're going to be working on, so-called AI Visibility Dashboard. It has a much more beautiful name, I promise. I'll name it later on. But I'm going to share some insights on what exactly is the end goal for the product that we're building right now, and what are the things that you can already do with it. And finally, of course, we're going to have a Q&A session. About that, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. I've got an amazing manager right here in the background who will be scanning through the chat and looking for those interesting questions, and we can answer them as the final part of the presentation. Again, this is your time, guys. This session is not so much for us to be salesy, to show you the things that we have built, to promote them, but to have a kind of communication with you, show you the things that we think are useful, that we believe are useful based on volumes of feedback and interviews that we've had with our current clients, and also hear from you the things that you think might be missing or might need improvement, or you've seen someplace else that you would love to see implemented on SRanking. So again, it's your time, and I think we can go ahead and get started. By the way, we're going to be talking about an amazing sneak peek later on about what's coming up on our roadmap and what you can expect later on from SRanking. But before we actually get into that, I think it's time we move on to the actual presentation itself. So let me just click a few buttons and remove this presentation and go into my screen. So again, if any of you are having any technical issues, you're not seeing my screen, you're not hearing me clearly, leave a comment in the chat, and then I'll do my best to arrange the comprehensive presentation for you. Okay, so first things first, as you all know, SRanking is an all-in-one SEO platform. Now, before we can actually even think about the research part, seeing the visibility, seeing the prompts, we need to lay the groundwork for our future tracking. This is going to simplify the way we work with the prompts that we find, and later on help us collect more data. To do that, we would need to go to the project settings or to create a project from scratch. Now, for the sake of the presentation, I'm going to go ahead and create a project from scratch from the drop-down menu. As most of you know, there is a six-step project creation process. I'm not going to go through all of those steps. Again, we're here to talk about AI. So I'm going to go ahead and designate the website URL and then move on to the next steps. Okay, I apologize for that. I've got too many screens. I actually need to do this to find the button, and there we go. Okay, so to lay down the groundwork for tracking future prompts, we need to create AI search engines. This is something we do directly from the creation menu or from the settings menu of your existing projects. To do that, again, we need to simply select the AI search engine we're interested in. So we have the AI overviews, for instance, and let's select the location. Let's go with the United Kingdom. Maybe you'd like to make the location more precise. Feel free to add a city or a town or a region for that reference. And what's really important for AI search engines, as most of you already know, is the brand name. That's why we've made the brand name as part of the AI search engines a mandatory field, because this is your way of telling the AI search, the AI, what kind of persona it needs to take in order to find your specific product, your specific brand with its products and services. So let's go with SC ranking, like this.
And let me add something, Max. Sorry.
Yes,
so the brand field is now mandatory, especially as the AI search domain, the AI search as a phenomenon is mostly zero-click or near zero-click, meaning that it is ultimately more important to track your mentions, the mentions of your brand, the mentions of your product, business, organization, whatever you're optimizing. So you need to specify your main brand for now, so that you know your positions, the positions of your mentions, not only links.
Yeah, a very helpful insight. We're going to be looking into the mentions, AI mentions, as well as link presence, and what AI visibility means in general later on. But as Boris has mentioned, as long as you provided the correct brand mention, and we understand there can be sometimes multiple brand names, we will be able to provide you with more precise data. So again, it's the age of the brand. Yeah, apart from AI overviews, maybe I'd like to add a ChatGPT one as well. So I already have the brand name ready. So let me just add a few more. You, of course, have Gemini and Perplexity. This selection of the AI search engines is based on the popularity, right? And on the commercial side of how often people actually use specific LLMs to look up a brand, a product, etc. If any other LLM becomes more or less popular, we will make sure to add it to the list later on. Okay, once this is done, we can now go to the next step. And sorry for zooming in and out, which is the prompts. Now, you might already have some prompts or keywords that you've noticed in AI overviews that you already rank for in mind. And that's completely fine. You can go ahead and add them directly to the screen right here so that we can keep track of those prompts that you've noticed. Now, I've got a few in mind, so let me just copy those like this. Okay. And yeah, I think there are a lot of spaces, which I don't need. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and add those prompts to the search engines. As you might have noticed, I've got like 3 prompts here, but it's saying that I'm adding 6 prompts. The reason for that is that I have both search engines selected here. So let's say I only want to keep those for ChatGPT. So I'm deselecting Google AI Overview and adding the prompts. Now, we do not expect you to actually have those prompts ready because again, SRanking is here to help you with that. And to start the research part, what you can do is that you can use our suggestions, which is also a great way to look up potential prompts that are used for this location of the brand. For your convenience, you have different categories that you can choose from. So it's done quite easily. Let's say we're focusing on the rank tracking part of SEO ranking. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a few random prompts. Again, go to the green button below and add prompts right here. So that's basically it. You don't need to do anything else. As long as you've added the search engines, even if you didn't do like the manual adding of the prompts or the suggestions adding of the prompts, that's completely fine. That's good for now, for us for now, because we're going to do a whole sequence of research that will help us see even more prompts and topics than we see right here. Now, let me zoom out. And yeah, that's basically it. So once we've laid down the cornerstone of what the LLMs, the AI search engines we believe we will be tracking later on, we can now go to the research part. And the research part starts in competitive research. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you already know that this is an amazing tool for great organic and paid insights. We've been using it, we've been working on it for years. You can see plenty of metrics that can help you with, the organic SERPs, with keyword research, competitive research, and comparing yourself to your competitors. But now we have this beautiful AI search addition that will provide you with even more insights. Again, all we need to do here is add the website URL, designate the location, and of course, add the brand name that we have in mind. Click Analyze, and the first thing we see is the organic part of it. I'm not going to go into the woods of what the Google search organic metrics we're showing here. We have a whole series of webinars, pre-recorded videos, and help center articles that can help you get onboarded very, very quickly. By the way, if you have any issue with finding specific resources, you have our amazing support guys at SRanking at support.com that will be more than happy to help you with locating those. Now, we're going to skip the organic part and go directly into the AI search. Some of you who are already using competitive research for AI search might have noticed that it might look different now. It does, because I believe like a week ago, maybe a little more than a week ago, we actually released an improvement, what we call AI Search 2.0, to this view and to the functionality that it offers. So what we get here is great insights into the AI presence. Now, when we talk about AI presence, it's important to say what we mean by that metric. AI presence is actually the combination of your brand mentions and your link presence. And we're going to go into the detail of it more, but if possible, Maria, if you're here, maybe you could give us a little explanation into what AI presence actually stands for and where we get that metric from.
Yes, absolutely. I already see some questions in the chat that actually relate to what I'm going to talk about. So in organic search in Google, we definitely need a metric that will tell us how much actually we earn from search, and this metric is traffic. In AI search, there is no such metric so far, but we are making some attempts to think of such a metric. And while we're not still there, we still want to show some evidence, some information on how much your brand or domain, or both brand and domain, depends on what you actually optimize for, is present, is visible in AI search. So this is what we call AI presence. So basically, to say it in very simple words, this is how many times your brand or domain or both are visible, are present in AI responses in all the AI chats that we track. Here, we also take into account topics. So basically, what we do as the first step, we see what topics are relevant to the brand or domain. Then we understand how big are these topics, so how many prompts are generally exist inside these topics. Then we also, as a third step, we also know in how many prompts inside these topics this brand or domain that we analyze is present. So we know the whole market. We know the how many prompts, the number of your presence, and we can calculate, taking into account all the topics, all the prompts that are inside these topics, and all the prompts where only your brand is mentioned again inside these topics. So this is topics related. So it's not just everywhere in AI search landscape, but just in the topics that are related to your business. Yeah, this is we do for the analyze domain and brand, and also for the competitors that we suggest, or any other competitor, any other website you can think of as your competitor as well. That is it as of the AI presence. So for now, this is how we calculate it, but it will evolve from sooner. From time to time, I think we'll add something to it for it to become more precise, and so that you guys can actually track how much your visibility is reflected in traffic.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maria. So as you heard it, it's a very complicated process, but we're working on improving it. And we're trying to see all of the data that is there and then just give you with a number that is as precise as possible. So sometimes you will see that the numbers are very, very precise. Again, we're working out the kinks on how to present the data. But at this time, just judging by the number, you see that we have a lot of data in the database that we can already work with. So on that topic of the presence and the topics for the prompts that we identify, if you look at the very top right here below the domain, you see the different modes that you can switch to generate the report where you can actually see the data that you're looking for. More precisely, if you're generally interested in your overall AI presence, you would stick with the overall presence mode, which combines both the brand mentions and the link presence, so that you can see all of it in a single graph. But you can also, drill it down to brand presence for the mentions only, as well as the domain presence, which are basically the link presence instances that we've identified for you. So again, depending on your strategy, depending on how your team has decided to handle this big AI shift, you can actually decide which information you can see. On top of that, you can also decide which LLMs or AI search engines you're looking at. So I'm going to select all of the data here, but I can also go ahead and break it down to, let's say, only AI mode and AI overview. So let me just hit apply. And as you can see, the numbers are changing. We're drilling down to only those specific systems so that you can see the data that you're looking for. Now, in the graph below where we have AI presence, as you can see, we have auto-suggested competitors. Now, we understand that those competitors might be very on point, the exact websites that you're competing against, but they might also be a little off. So what you can do is that you can actually click Add Competitors in the top to add the competitors you know of, and can create the comparison between your domain or your client's domain and their domains. So let me just type in a few actual S-ranking competitors. Let's go with SEMrush, and Ahrefs, okay, And one more, something quite random. Okay, this will do. Now, once I've added that information, instead of those auto-generated comparators, I can compare it to the websites that I actually know are there on the market and against my client. If needed, I can disable the ones that are a bit irrelevant and create a more comprehensive view by adding more comparators if needed. In the top left-hand corner here of the graph, I can switch to AI engines instead of the comparators view. And if I have multiple AI engines added, I can compare my presence from one to another. Why? Well, brand presence means conversions. So if I see that I'm quite popular in Perplexity or any other LLM apart from it, maybe I would like to focus my strategy on it a bit more. Maybe this is exactly where I need to focus my resources on, etc. And to the topics themselves, as Maria has mentioned, we try to identify as many topics relevant to your brand as possible. And then within those topics, we actually have a set of prompts that could potentially generate traffic for you. In this topic presence graph, you can see only the top 5 topics. But if you want to get a breakdown of it, simply go to the prompts, and you can see that for essay ranking alone, we've identified over 1,300 prompts in general. Topics. It's only topics. And then within each topic that I can open, I can see a myriad of different prompts. So the source information that you get from it is visibility. This is exactly where the visibility is coming from. The prompts or the AO keywords that your competitors are visible for or you are visible for. And the beauty of this view is not only seeing the data, but also comparing it. Because based on the competitors that I've added, or the ones that were auto-generated for me, I can compare my presence to the other domains based on the prompt. So for instance, for the prompt 10 best SEO tools, I see that SEO ranking is missing, but SEMrush and Ahrefs are actually present. I can also see the other brands that are mentioned there that I haven't designated as my competitors. If I want to get like a full view of it, we actually have this very beautiful blue button that will provide you with a full transcript of what that AI overview was about, what brands were mentioned, and if there are more brands than we show in a single line, you can show more of those. The citations, meaning the sources that the AI used for creating that summary, and of course, the summary itself. The highlighted parts are the brand mentions themselves. So this way you can double check us and double check yourself to see where exactly you stand in terms of the position of your brand name and who else is there competing against you or your client. Now, if we are in the multiple LLM mode, which we are because we have all 5 LLMs selected, if the same prompt is ranking in the AI search engines, in other search engines, you will also see it and you can easily switch between them right here. Again, get the transcript, snippet of it, see what the content was about, and then start working on your strategy. So this is like a major thing that we're really proud of, and we really recommend that you test it out, you see how that works, especially with those competitor comparison sections, because not only can you see the visibility for yourself, you can also see those for your competing websites. And based on that, if needed, you can then check their domain and see what prompts they are ranking for, and so on and so forth, until you come up with a list that actually works for you. A few quick tips before we move out of this view into the citations, which is also a very interesting topic that I would love to talk about. You have a bunch of filters and grouping options that you can choose from for the ease of visibility. So again, right now, all the prompts are grouped as topics, but I can ungroup them and simply see the list. I can see where the overlap actually is, meaning maybe I would only like to see all of the prompts where essay ranking is missing, but other websites are already ranking for it in the AI overview, in the AI responses. It's also done very easily by simply selecting the right filter. The topic, maybe there is a particular topic I'm interested in. So let's say tracker. Let's see if we have tracker. Let's go with something SEO case studies. That will actually do. So now we filter it down. Maybe I'll enable the topic. I see how many prompts there actually are, etc. And as you might have noticed, we have the mention, and we only see the mention because again we're in the brand presence mode. But if I switch to overall presence, I will also start seeing the prompts that do not mention my brand directly, but they have a link to it. And also, I can filter down to a particular brand. So maybe I'm interested in the prompts that have set brand so that I can look it up and see how I can use it for myself. So let's go with SEMrush. Plenty of those. Again, brand names are really important. But for now, LLMs, they have variations of your brand name. So you would need to stick with one for the time being. So yeah, that's basically it. This is a big step forward when it comes to competitor research because you can now compare the AI visibility and presence and mentions in general. The next logical step, and again, let me just remind you what we're doing here. We are in the research phase where we're checking our domain or our client's domain for the available prompts, the ones where they already rank or the ones where they are still missing from. So if I find a prompt that I'm interested in and I know that I already rank for, let's go with one-page ranking where I have link presence, not a link presence, etc. I can select those and click track prompts to the right. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the project that I've initially set up those LLM search engines for, if you remember, because that was the first thing we did. So we set up the groundwork for what we're doing right now. And I'm going to go ahead and add those prompts to both search engines and simply add them there. Now, before we move to the place where we move the prompts to, and we look into the long-term tracking and the long-term monitoring of the visibility in general, I'd like to take a quick peek into the citations. So citations is also a relatively new feature that we're also quite proud of. And the idea behind it is to give you an overview of the websites that appear in AI overview, that appear in LLM AI responses more often. So it can be both your brand and some other websites. The end goal here is to give you a list of very popular, frequently visible to AI websites that you might want to get a backlink from, or you might want to, collaborate with. Because the thought behind it is that if that website is very visible, and we can see that essay ranking is already visible for 368 pages in AI, but let's look for Reddit. There are over 4,000 pages that are visible in Reddit that are relevant to us. So maybe we need to increase our Reddit presence. Maybe we need to create more content there on a very visible website so that our brand visibility increases in general. And again, we have a bunch of filters that you can work with. You can filter down to the ones where you're missing, that your presence is missing. Maybe there's a particular topic you're interested in. You can also filter it down to it if needed. Okay, so let me just take a quick pause and quickly check the chat just to make sure that everyone can see and hear me well. I can see my helpers are already answering some of the questions that you have. Amazing. Okay, cool. So let's take a new step towards tracking. So we've done the research, we know the prompts, we have a general understanding of our visibility. Now, the question is like, what do I do with that data, right? Like, what do I do with it on a daily basis? So you can actually track it on a daily basis directly from your project. I'm going to go ahead and select my S-ranking project. Sorry, I have two. The other one is like full with organic data, but this one is really good for presenting the AI data. So within the project, as a ranking, I need AI results tracker, which functions very similarly to the regular ranking section where you track the organic keywords and their daily positions. But in this view, we're actually going to start seeing the prompts that we just added. And if you remember, those were exactly the prompts that I added from the tracking. And thankfully, I'm already seeing some results. So the check happens quite quick. So once you've added a key, an AO keyword or a prompt to the tracker, if you're currently ranking for it, we should start seeing data very quickly here. And again, the tool functions as a regular tracker, right? So as long as you've added a prompt or an AO keyword, as long as it stays there and you're ranking for it, there will be historical data to look at. So you can always look it up, see the historical positions, and so on and so forth. There are a bunch of metrics that you would like to pay attention to, but I think at this point, I might just choose a different project, which already has plenty of data, so that I can show you the historical retrospective of the AI visibility and what we're actually looking for. Okay, so from here, let's go to... Okay, amazing. So in this project, again, this is a test project, just a random website. I'm going to select the past 30 days, for instance. I can see the overall AO presence, meaning that among all of the prompts that I've added or AO keywords, how many of those are actually appearing in AI overviews? Because this is the AI search engine I'm looking into right now. So about 72% of those are currently present in AI overviews. I can see the percentage of links versus mentions and the top 3 presences. If I click into it, quick filters will be applied, and I will find the top ranking, the top performance of those of AIOs. In the table itself, as with the regular rank tracker, I can see some of the data. We see the search volume, the intent for the keyword, and the organic overlap. A very interesting thing. So organic overlap is basically our way to find the correlation between the top 20 organic links that normally appear in the SERPs and the number of the links that were used from those top 20 organic searches in the creation of the AI summary. So basically 8 out of 20 links, organic links, were used in the creation of this particular summary today. Let me look for it right here. Still rendering the data for today, but yesterday will actually do, like here. What other insights can you get from here? Not only do we track the positions of your mentions or your links, we also track the snippets of those. So if you click into the position, and let me just take a quick step back and do that again in case you missed it. Quickly refreshing the page. Okay. So let's take, for example, technical specification on March the 18th. I have both a mention and a link presence. So if I click into the position here, I will see the mention position out of the number of brand mentions within that AI overview, meaning there were only 2 brands mentioned and I was number 1 out of 2. And the link position. So my link was number 1 out of 24 other links, which is great results. I can have a quick peek into the content of that LLM answer. Again, this is just a snippet. So if you were wondering like what the answer was about, if it was even relevant, or if it was just a happy accident, you can use this to quickly go through the content of that response and better understand what the LLM is thinking about you. But apart from that, you can actually get an actual snippet of what it looked like, not only the content. For instance, you have the cached copy here. If I click into view, oh, sorry, it's opening a different tab. So I hope I'm sharing the tab now. Let me just double check this. I am. So in this view, I see a snippet of the SERPs on March the 18th. I can see what the AI overview was about. And if I scroll below, I will see that, okay, there it is. Link number 1 out of the reference list of 24, if I'm not mistaken, for the monday.com website. So great insights, great things you can do here. You have full control over the data. You can quickly check how it's doing. You can double check the accuracy on our end because you got the actual snippets from the dump. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, you have the ability to export the data if needed. So if you need a neat CSV file to share with your client, you can do that. A few other interesting things that you can find within AI Results Tracker would be the competitors. Now, the competitors is basically a section where you can go ahead and check the SERPs list and see how you're doing compared to some other websites. So let's take our beloved technical specification keyword, which, by the way, I see that I'm ranking for and I have an AIO for by this purple icon right here. Because the one that is grayed out, that basically means that I do not have any results for it, right? So I do not have any AO for it. But the purple means good. So again, technical specifications. I see all of the brands that were mentioned in those AI overviews. And of course, I see the source links used in the creation of that overview. And there it is. This is my website. And I also see that there are some other websites that were used as a reference. You can easily switch between domains and URLs if you want to see which pages were ranking in the source list specifically, or stick with the domains if you're just interested in the websites. And
yes, Max, if it's an AI overview, can you back to the screen, please? Then we can scroll a bit down to the bottom, and there'll be a section. If it's an AI overview, it should be a section of top 20 organic.
Okay, I see. Let me just look for one.
We're looking at ChatGPT.
Yeah, we're in ChatGPT, so we need this one. There it is.
Correct. So this way you can see what is overlapping and what domains or URLs are present both in the blue links and in the sources and links of AI overview.
Yeah, amazing. So, I really apologize for that. This is my robot vacuum who's just living his own life. So yeah, as Boris has mentioned, basically you can see that specific overlap and make up your mind to see if the organic traffic actually still matters. It does. Everybody knows that it does. But it's a very good way to compare the organic traffic to the actual AI references. And the final thing that I really recommend you pay attention to would be the sources. The sources are very similar to the citations we saw in AI search, right? Which again gives you a very good idea of mention opportunities for websites that appear in the AI overviews or AI search engine replies very often. You can quickly skim through the AI answers. You can see which prompts they were triggering. You can break it down to specific prompts and which search engines this website was appearing for in LLM responses. And of course, the cached copy, if we're looking for a very precise overview of what was going on there. Okay. So that's basically it in terms of the project creation and setting up those search engines, doing the research part, finding great insights, and of course, identifying the right prompts, AO keywords, and adding them to our project for further tracking. The last part that I would like to mention would be that new product that I mentioned before, which is called SE Visible. I'm going to quickly switch to it in right here and share the view with you. So just a few words, what SE Visible is. At this time, this is a completely new product that we're working on that is still a part of the AI optimization platform. But in time, we will be looking into developing an ecosystem of its own, where it's going to help us connect the dots between SEO, AI visibility in general, SMM, data that you can push through our API, etc. At this time, it's still in the works. So just a quick overview of the things that you can still do here. Again, you can log separate websites as projects, and you can focus specifically on their visibility. Because again, from within the project, when we did the research, the AI results tracker just a moment ago, it's still filled up with a lot of other information like the backlinks, technical website checks, etc. From SE Visible, the view is much clearer, so it's fully focused on the AI visibility, how well you're ranking in dimensions, your average position in the link. And another thing that you cannot see anywhere else is net sentiment. I think I need to zoom it in a little. Net sentiment, which is basically the attitude. Well, I'm not sure if the attitude is the right word. The reputation that AI search engines have for your website. Now, the more it is in the positives, the more positive it is. The more it is in the negatives, the more negative it is. And again, this is the net sentiment. So we take all of the negative LLM replies about your client's services, or stuff, etc., and we take all the positives, and then we subtract one from another, and we give you the net of it. So thankfully for SE ranking, we have the score of plus 70, which is a great result, mostly positive. From this view, you also see the competitors, which can be which are a little more precise in terms of the generation. So you also have the ability to add other competitors if needed directly from the settings of the project right here. In the prompts, you can also ask for the system to look up new prompts for you or add new prompts that you already have in mind. You can filter down to specific LLMs. Maybe you would only like to see the tracked brands and brand mentions. And maybe that you're only looking for all the negative sentiment so that you can help your client understand what the majority of answers are so negative about. We again have the sources, an amazing opportunity to find brand mention opportunities and just see your general visibility. And of course, the competitors, where you can have a very comprehensive graph of the topics and the prompts compared to your website and the other competitors that you've added to the project. So again, this is just a sneak peek. We're still working on the product, still ironing out the kinks. But in the end, we hope that this tool will help us connect the dots between SEO, AI brand visibility in general, SMM, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you guys today. Let me just quickly check my notes just to make sure that I didn't forget anything. I didn't. Amazing. So going forward, I think we can now go back to the stage and take some Q&As. Okay, let me just stop sharing the screen here. Hello, Boris. Hello, Masha. Okay. So before we jump into the Q&As, again, I really appreciate everybody who's stuck with me all this time. I see that our numbers have dropped a little, but I really appreciate everybody who, who's witnessed the whole presentation and listened to our guests. So for those of you who are still with us, we have a very cool sneak peek into what we might be expecting to see on essay ranking in the upcoming iterations and maybe next quarter or even this quarter. So Masha, Boris, would you mind sharing a little update on the roadmap that we currently have for future AI, for the AI future of essay ranking?
Yeah, let me take the first one. To be brief, a brand visibility agent, as we call it. So we plan to create, in fact, a conversational interface to essay ranking tools, where you will be able to do all the major tasks of that you can do in the classic essay ranking UI, but using the chat, as if you're talking to someone, right? So you'll be able to set up tracking, to conduct analysis, gap analysis, technical analysis, and get reports and all that stuff, just as you get from the classic traditional UI, but in the form of a chat. So it requires an agent, and this connects it to the second point. So public API. Obviously, such an agent, an agentic interface requires the platform, all the tools of the platform have their API that the agent can work with, which we are actually addressing as we speak. AI results trackers, so our tracking tools, public API is being enriched and developed these days. So it's one of the first tools that will be available in that agent. As for the third item, I guess Masha can take it. Maria.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Boris. So I've seen, I think maybe 3 or 4 questions about how we select, how we understand basically what prompts are more important to track and to show in research. And yes, we are not yet there with solving this task, but one of the steps that we will have for this is topics search volume. So we show you that for each domain, for each brand, we show particular prompts that topics they relate to, and in the coming months we will have an algorithm which will be available in ranking that will show the search volume of a topic in AI search engines. So it's not on the level of prompts, and maybe it shouldn't be, it's a question, but at least you will be able to identify with the help of this metric what topics and what prompts inside these topics you might want to work on, because they just have more reach than others. Will give you some sense of this metric. So I hope by the end of this June, we will be able to have this metric.
Great. As you can see, a lot of great things are coming. Again, we're all in the same boat. There are amazing insights that you can already get from essay ranking, but we're still working on very advanced things, and especially that topic search volume, which could be a great predictor and the estimate of the potential, AO traffic in general, which Google is already working on, and some even say implementing into Google Search Console. So there are a lot of things we have in mind, but if you guys have any idea of how else we can improve the features, the visibility in general, and how to make it more useful so that you and your clients can actually use it for day-to-day work, we're very open to it. Yeah, so I think it's time for a short Q&A. Personally, we do not have much time, and I appreciate all of the amazing questions. We have a lot of questions. I see that the AI topic is very popular. So let me just cherry pick some of those. I apologize if we're not able to answer your question specifically, but you can always reach out to us at support@sranking.com. And I promise you're going to get expert level answers from our support team who can contact Maria and Boris directly. So let me just cherry pick some of those. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. My concerns are whether or not we can track prompts like we do keywords. Personally, I chat through thoughts with my LLM, which turns out to be massive text. How does that affect prompt tracking? So I think the question is about like how tracking for AAO keywords and prompts has changed. I hope that the presentation gave you an idea that it hasn't changed much. We're still tracking the keywords, the prompts, the way we used to track keywords, hoping to get the brand mention position and as well as the link presence position. I think this is a very interesting question from James. Guys, how long does it usually take to start seeing meaningful data after you set up a project? Maria, Boris, do you have any estimates, anything you heard from your client interviews that you think could answer that?
We actually have some kind of benchmarks. So after you add prompts to tracking, you will usually start getting data within minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So we actually tested the system for this.
Okay, that's a very quick update. Amazing. I expected something like a week or 2, but that's really good.
Yeah, I'm answering as regards to tracking.
Okay, awesome. We have a question about volatility. It's impossible for me not to bring it up because everybody's experiencing volatility. So I see that the AAO volatility is very high for prompts. It's very difficult to keep up. It's not just my presence, but overall no AAO. So any insights you could share with us, Maria or Boris?
I can take that one. Maybe Maria will add something. So if you see that AI overviews volatility is high, in other words, one day they are there, one day they are not. You just need to decide whether you want to optimize for that AI overview for that particular prompt, because it needs to be. I mean, you need to assess how persistent it is, how persistent the AI answer is. If it only appears like once a week, maybe you don't want to optimize for it. If it's present like 3 out of 7 days a week, maybe you should do something to optimize for it. That's how I see it. That said, AI overviews, from what we see on our side, they are becoming more and more present over the last several months. Maybe there are experiments by Google regarding some specific business domains or topics. I mean, whether they should or should not show AI overviews. So volatility may be higher. AIO presence volatility may be higher for those topics. But over time, for now, it seems to be stabilizing. Masha? No?
It's not really that I can add much to this. As for the research, we do parse, we do get responses for prompts once a month for all the search engines, just as we did with classic research. But we do it through the period of the whole month, so it definitely it will not help with volatility of the results. It's not yet there, but at least it can show the picture of the whole month. And surely we understand that for tracking, it's more important to track more often than for research. But still, yeah, it's also important for research, and we are keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for the insights. And just, I think we have the time for one more question that we can answer. And I think I have a perfect one. And this is more of a case study. Let me just pull it up quickly. There it is. So in the AI results tracker, I have a 97% mention rate. However, I have a competitor above me. What influences, or what is more important than the mention rate? So the big question is that, which is more important, the mention rate or the link presence? What do you think, Boris? I think it's your area.
Well, if you're optimizing for visits to your website, I guess mentions are still more important because traffic is usually low from those sources, from the sources list. As for having a competitor above me, so we need to. My first thought is we need to look at the sources that actually contribute to the response. We need to look what sources are persistent. I mean, what are repeated over and over, day after day, and out of those persistent sources, we need to find how those sources mention the brands or products. So maybe it may be that your competitor is always above in their listicles.
Great.
That's one idea that I have currently, but maybe there are other hypotheses. There may be.
Okay, a very interesting question, a very interesting reply. We do have some other questions left, but unfortunately we've run out of time and we know how busy your schedules are, so we would hate to keep you here. So again, if your question hasn't been answered, please contact us at support@sranking.com. Our amazing support guys will make sure to answer the question as precisely as possible. Before we actually wrap it up, again, those of you who are not part of the S-Ranking community, I recommend you try it out. I mean, the things you saw today can become very much available to you during the free trial run that you can easily register to by following the QR code that you can see in the screen. You will get amazing insights into the organic paid traffic, the keywords, the backlinks, the technical checks, and of course, the AI stuff itself. Make sure to sign up with your corporate email address. This is exactly how we're building our community, agency community. So with the corporate email address, you will actually get more benefits than with a generic one. So we'd appreciate your input there as well. And again, as always, you have our support@sranking.com for any and all questions that you might not have had answered or you still come up with after the session here today. Please follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or X. I still call it Twitter. Sorry, I'm very old school. Twitter. We always post case studies from our product managers and SEO experts. We're always trying to keep up with the trends in the SEO world and this great big shift that we call AI nowadays. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a great pleasure having you, Maria, you, Boris, and the rest of the audience today, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you.